All right. Good morning. Happy Friday. Hope everyone is doing well. Hope everybody had a good Christmas. We're going to just take a few minutes here to push this out. So just bear with me here. If you jump on, if you see this, let me know you're out there in the old interweb lands. Say hello. Where you're at. Good morning. Oh, there you go. How you guys doing? Appreciate you jumping on. Thank you. I want to hear a little bit about your Christmas stories and how your Christmas went. So get this out, share it. We're going to cover some news topics today. We're back in the swing of things. Last week, didn't kind of I dropped the ball. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't get the opportunity to do a show. Was going to, and then spent time just spent that time with my family up in Wisconsin. We were back up in Wisconsin. Got a lot of time with my nieces and nephews over the Christmas break. So rocking the Merry Christmas frosty mug with the coffee this morning. So yeah, if you guys are if you guys are on, come on, say hello. I'm just gonna take another minute or two to get just a few more people on here. Let me know where you guys are at, and then we will get started shortly. But like I said, I'm gonna wait to get a few more people on here first. Hey, morning guys, how you doing? Instagram, appreciate you guys jumping on. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else we got out there? Come on down, guys. Come on down, say hello. We're gonna get the thing started here. So yeah, last week I didn't do a show back in Wisconsin with family. Had a great time. Came back later, earlier this week, and brought some extra bodies home with me. Junior is little bird's home. Excited to have him here. Him and his fiance are here. And just I get to spend a week with him. It's a little more time, so I'm happy about that. Um, had our Christmases here with the wife's family and stuff like that. Good. It was just blessed. You need to talk just blessed. That's all you can say. I'm blessed. At the same time, it felt a little different this year. I don't know what it was. Maybe because there wasn't any snow on the ground like we're used to seeing or whatnot. It just the atmosphere felt a little bit different. I'm not saying it was a bad thing. It was just different, I think. A lot of new things coming up, and we're wrapping up 2024, and I look back on 2024, and it's taken me a lot just to look back on what's transpired this year, things how far we've come as a company here at HMG, um, new relationships that we've created over this past year, places that we've gone, things that we've covered, people that we've helped, and whatnot. And it's just been I think 2024 has been a great year. We talk a little bit of a lot actually. We talk a lot, I think, about kind of how crazy the world is right now and whatnot. But when you really kind of look at the heart of things and kind of past the BS, I think you really come to realize just how blessed we are and how lucky we are. So that's not to say bad things won't happen, but I would like to think that we have more positive things happening in our lives than we tend to realize, and it's truly a blessing. So, I'm excited to see what happens with 2025. And one of the questions that I want to ask you guys, those of you that watch this live, that are on live on the different platforms right now, leave a comment below and let me know what uh, you're looking forward to in 2025. What are you looking forward to in 2025? Leave it in the comments below, whatever platform you're on. I got a couple of YouTubers, Instagram on here. What are you looking forward to in 2025? I got a lot of travel. Like the first 90 days, the first quarter is already just jam packed full with travel. A couple speaking engagements. Doing a family trip that I'm really excited about. Some new shows. Super stoked about some new shows that are coming on board. And some big events, coming up. And I'll get into some of those events. What are you looking for? And let me ask you this. Are you the type of person, do you like create a goal list for the year, or like a New Year's resolution? I haven't, I didn't do that last year. And I don't remember if I did it the year before. Used to do it, but then I just kind of took a back seat to it and was just like, oh, this is what I'm doing. I write my goals down every day of what I want to get accomplished anyway. So, whatever. I might take a different approach to it this year. I might do what I want to accomplish in 2025 and write it down for the year goals, like a New Year's resolution, if you will. How many of you out there do that? I'm curious. Leave a comment. Let me know if you guys do any New Year's resolutions. So if you're watching this now, or if you watch this later on throughout the weekend, let me know what you look forward to in 2025. All right, let's go ahead and get started on some of the news topics going on. Let's see here. A lot of stuff to cover this week. This week, incoming FCC chair pens letter to Disney CEO. President-elect's incoming chair of the Federal Communication Commission's Brendan Carr sent a letter to Disney CEO Bob Iger promising to hold the company accountable for prioritizing its content over others that may be more trusted by American people. Let me just kind of make this a little bit bigger here, as I'm getting a little older and apparently I can't see as well. Ken, good morning, brother. Appreciate you jumping on, man. Hope you guys had a Merry Christmas down there. Give Kim a big hug for me. The letter states, and I quote, "Dear Mr. Edgar, Americans no longer trust the national news media to report fully, accurately, or fairly. ABC's own conduct is certainly contributed to its erosion of the public's trust." Carr wrote, explaining that ABC News, which is owned by Disney, recently agreed to pay $15 million to President Trump's future presidential foundation and museum, and an additional $1 million in attorney fees to settle the defamation case. Now, if you're not sure what the defamation case is, you can look it up. George Stephanopoulos had said a few things that were inaccurate, and it's what caused this uproar. It's not a surprise that we're seeing something like this happen, and the fact that Disney owns a lot of different news outlets and whatnot is, are we shocked? Shouldn't be, but nonetheless, I think this is a good thing if it does actually happen. So we'll see. What do we got next? I just put the title up here. Elon Musk's AI startup receives more than $6 billion in financing. $6 billion. Probably, I don't know if it's of his own money. They didn't say, but that was literally the title. That was it. That was the whole article. Musk's AI startup receives more than $6 billion in financing. Next. How many of you love to make homemade eggnog? Well, Recalled Costco eggs may cause severe illness due to salmonella poisoning, says the FDA. The federal food regulators raised their alarm for recalled eggs sold from Costco stores over possible salmonella exposure, reclassifying the targeted product to the highest risk level. That's comforting. The FDA announced on November 27th that New York Hanson Brook Farm voluntarily recalled about 10,800 retail units of 24-count organic pasteurized eggs sold under the Costco's Kirkland Signature brand. In an update that happened earlier this week, a notice on this past Friday, the FDA reclassified the recall to a Class 1, which it calls reasonable probability that the use of or exposure to a volatile product will cause serious adverse health consequences or death. How's that eggnog now, Bob? This is a big big deal, and I'm not gonna get any like, oh, this was done on purpose or anything like that. We've seen stuff like this happen, but it does cause some concern. And with that being said, this is why you should find a local farmer, rancher, and purchase from them. Just saying. Ken, what do we have? Eggnog is just overspiced. I'm not an eggnog drinker. I think I was when I was a little bit younger. I might drink it if it was spiked, I guess. I was trying to think of another word, but I haven't had a full cup of coffee yet this morning, so you guys got to forgive me. Here's a interesting interesting headline. A body was discovered in the wheel well of United Airlines plane. Authorities are investigating the discovery of a body in the wheel well of United Airlines Boeing 787-10 aircraft that landed in Maui on Tuesday. The body was found in the landing gear compartment shortly after United Flight 202 arrived from Chicago. United Airlines confirmed the incident and stated it was cooperating fully with law enforcement during the investigation, and the airline expressed its condolences and concern over the tragic situation. The wheel well, accessible only from the outside of the aircraft, raises significant security questions about how the individual managed to enter the compartment and what circumstances led to the incident. Authorities have not released any information about the identity or anything of the body that was found or the timelines. Yeah. Yeah. Let's go into something good here. Some positive news. Group of Good Samaritans saved mother and a son trapped under a taxi cab on Christmas Day. A group of Good Samaritans acted heroically on Christmas Day in Manhattan, lifting a taxi cab that had jumped the curb, crashed into pedestrians, trapping a mother and her 9-year-old son beneath the vehicle. My God. The incident occurred near Macy's at the intersection of 34th Street and 6th Avenue shortly after 4 p.m., according to the reports. The taxi driver, 58-year-old man, reportedly experienced a medical episode leading him to lose control of the vehicle. The cab struck several people standing on the sidewalk, creating a chaotic scene. A tourist from Oregon, whose wife was grazed by the cab, described the dramatic rescue. After ensuring his wife was safe, he and others rushed to the scene to help the victims. The mother, despite her injuries, was described as, quote, unbelievably stable and responsive, end quote. Given the circumstances, 6 pedestrians were hit in total, but only the 41-year-old mother and her son and another victim, 49-year-old pedestrian, were transported to the hospital. Thankfully, police have confirmed that none of the injuries were life-threatening. Kudos to those good Samaritans for acting and helping. It's nice to hear, sad that happened. But at the same time, it's nice to hear that there are still decent people out there willing to lift a hand and I'm thankful for that. Brent over there, hey, good morning to you. Merry Christmas, happy Friday to you. Appreciate you jumping on. Thank you. Let's see what's next. Yeah, we got to tweak these algorithms. I agree. Yeah, we're getting shadowed again, but I haven't been on in a couple weeks, so that might be part of it too. Next up, bald eagle officially becomes national bird. I guess I thought that was already the case. But President Joe Biden signed a bill officially making the bald eagle the U.S. national bird. The bill amends the United States Code to recognize the bird. According to the bill, bald eagles are a historical symbol of the United States representing independence, strength, and freedom. It is unique to North America, was adopted as a coat of arms for the United States Great Seal, and remains the leading insignia for all branches of the United States military. I take this down as a positive. Great news. Great news. Bald eagle. Love it. Hey, you guys are going to see something floating kind of across the screen here. Let me take a moment to say this. We got a new website that went live, and we were literally like 3 weeks early. We've been working with a company called Fin Tactical. Amazing people. I love the guys over there. And they just did a phenomenal job on our website. There's a few things that we're working out, small things, but it's the Christmas holiday too, so it's like, we're in no rush really to get it done because everything's working the way it's supposed to do. There's just some small things. One of the things, not necessarily small, but one of the things that came up over the Christmas holiday was we had to switch servers, and in doing so, we lost our info@heroesmediagroup.com email. So if you've emailed that, we haven't got it. So I apologize for that. We're working on that issue. It'll be fixed next week. But in the meantime, you can email us at media@heroesmediagrp. That's going to be the new email that we push everybody to. It's media@heroesmediagrp. So if you got questions, comments, cries of outrage, or anything, let us know. Send us an email. Love to hear from you guys. If you want to complain, great. You want to say, hey, you're doing a great job. Love to hear that as well. So wanted to throw that out there really quick. Next up, Ohio school district pays $450,000 settlement to a teacher who refused to use transgender students' pronouns. Outstanding. Good for this teacher. Ohio school district agreed to pay $450,000 in settlement to a middle school teacher, Vivian, I'm not going to pronounce her last name, say her last name, who was forced to resign. She was forced to resign after she refused to use transgender students' chosen pronouns. I guess what happened was the principal of this school, it was Jackson Memorial Middle School in Ohio. She filed a lawsuit and said that the principal stated, if you're not willing to put your religious beliefs aside, then you should resign. Great, resign and then sue the school. And that's exactly what she did. The teacher was represented by the Alliance Defending Freedom, or ADF, claimed that the district mandated that teachers use the preferred names and pronouns of the students who expressed a gender identity different from their biological sex. The district required educators to participate in this social transition of students, which the teacher argued went against her religious beliefs and scientific understanding of gender. Hats off to this teacher. Hats off to this teacher to sticking to your gun. Sorry you had to resign over it, but hopefully the $450 or $450,000 settlement will help She resigned. This happened in 2022, but this week the settlement finally came through. Heather, good morning to you. Appreciate you. So, I thought again, it's good that these teachers stand up to that. You shouldn't have to do that. All right, what do we got next here? I got one more, and this is for all you military people out there. Tony, good morning, you beautiful son of a. Oh, you. How you doing, brother? Yeah, excuse me. All right, for all of you Air Force and Space Cadets or Space Force Guardians out there, this one's for you. Hearing loss, asthma won't disqualify Air Force or Space Force recruits under new policy. Woo! Department of the Air Force recruiters will now offer waivers for future airmen and Space Force Guardians with certain diagnoses of asthma, hearing loss, food allergies, a major policy change that could open up service for more civilians. The change announced publicly this week is expected to open up service to around 600 new applicants each year, says the Department of the Air Force. I think this might be a good move. I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on this? I know it was such a big thing, like asthma was a big, big thing. Marine Corps, Army, for example. I know that was, and then hearing loss side of it. I thought it'd be harder to get into the Space Force. That's probably it's so much, it's newer, and there's probably, I don't know. Maybe you don't have to hear in space. I don't know. I'm sure there's a ton of jokes here somewhere. We're not going to go that way. True Patriot Outfitters, good morning to you. Appreciate you. James Clark, what's up, brother? How you doing? Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for jumping on, man. We got to catch up soon. So, yeah, I think this is interesting. This is a big win, I think, for the military. And I think they're doing this because over the last few years, they've seen their recruitment levels down so much. So hearing loss, asthma, it's not going to disqualify you anymore. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens in the Air Force and the Space Force. Last up, let's talk about our Black Knights, the West Point Black Knights. Another reason why I didn't do a show last week is I was still suffering from the Army-Navy game. Great game. America's game. Every young man on the field, hero. Every man and woman, because cheerleaders and band and stuff like that. It was the atmosphere was absolutely electric. Rich LaMonica from Misfit Nation podcast, who's a HMG family member, flew out. We went to the game, had a great time that day. That's probably it is by far my favorite sporting event to cover is Army Navy, because you see all the traditions between West Point and Annapolis, the Naval Academy. I'm very, very blessed. I want to thank the entire West Point staff and my friend Eric up there, who in the athletics department, who's allowed us to work with them this year to cover some of the Army football games. And tomorrow is the Independence Bowl, which was very interesting because the Independence Bowl it's going to be the West Point Black Knights against Louisiana Tech, who is 5-7. Now, Louisiana Tech, that's not who originally was going to be in the Independence Bowl. We found this out at Army Navy just before halftime, I believe. But Marshall was the original opponent, and they dropped out. Their head coach, if I remember this correctly, the head coach from Marshall stepped away right after. Stepped away, and in doing so, 21 of their players went to the transfer portal. So Marshall was out. Louisiana Tech came in. Louisiana Tech's 5-7. Personally, I think even though the Black Knights have 2 losses, they have a loss to Notre Dame and they have a loss to Navy. They are 11-2. They've had a phenomenal season. They are ranked in the top 25 on the AP polls. Independence Bowl. I would have liked to have seen Army go to the Armed Forces Bowl in Texas. Personally, I think they deserve. I'm hoping after this season that they start drawing more viewers in, because if you look at this transfer portal, you guys got me on a soapbox here. And maybe we'll talk about this next week. I really want everybody's opinion on what their thoughts are on the transfer portal and college football. Because here's the thing: kids getting paid to go to school, and these colleges are making money off the kids. I get that. I understand that side of it. Should the kids be getting paid? Sure. And some are going to argue they are getting paid. They're getting a free education, and I get that argument too. Here's what I think the biggest problem is with the transfer portal is there's no really regulation on it. There are kids that are going into their third college now. Like I forget who it was. I forget the name, but he was like, "Hey, you're not meeting this NIT, the stuff getting paid." He's like, "You're not meeting that, so I'm transferring out." And then you have another kid who was a quarterback. He was at Boise State. Now he's like Alabama or somewhere along that line. I forget where, but it doesn't matter. But it was like you could transfer out into a different school and continuing. I remember I remember a time where if you transferred to a different school, you were out that next season to make you eligible. They don't have that anymore. So James, great question. I want to bring that up. And I didn't see where he transferred to. James Clark on here says, "How can a guy transfer from Army can transfer to ASU?" So Army sophomore running back, Udo, great kid. I had him on the Cadets on the Gridiron podcast. So here's what happens: you don't see a lot of the academy school athletes using the transfer portal, and usually you can't. But here's where you can. You have to do it before your junior year. So my understanding is like what happened was with Udo, the running back for West Point. He hit the transfer portal. Rumors have it, or it's out there that he hit the transfer portal. I haven't done an update on it, and I haven't looked, James, for full disclosure. I don't know where he went. I know he was hitting the transfer portal. That's the last I heard. And my understanding is as long as the athlete hits the transfer portal before your junior year, because at the junior year at the academies, that's when you swear in, and then that's where you make your commitment to join the military. He wasn't there yet. He was a sophomore, and he had a great year. He was a hell of a running. He is a hell of a running back, and the kid's got a very bright future. Some are going to argue he signed with ASU. Signed out good. It means I can still watch him. He's a hell of a player, and I think he'll do fantastic with ASU's program down there. But that's you're welcome. So that's what happens as long as you hit the transfer portal before your junior year. Now, again, here's the one thing I like about the service academy athletes. They're committed to that school, right? This just happens to be a rare thing that's happened. You almost never see. I haven't heard of any of the midshipmen or even the Black Knights having kids go to the transfer portal. I mean, these kids that play for these programs, the academy programs, are locked in, and that's what I love about the academy programs, because they're true to that program. You don't have these kids going around from one college to the next and they can just play right into it. I think there needs to be some regulations put into place, like something along the lines of, hey, no more than 2 transfers during your college career, or and you're eligible for you get 4 years, 5 years really, and then you're eligible. You can't transfer more than twice. Something along that lines. Something needs to be done because the way that it's set up right now is a freaking mess, in my opinion. What are your guys' thoughts on the transfer portal? I was not planning on talking about this today, but this good questions. I'm glad you brought it up, James. Thank you. And I did not see that he signed with ASU, so I'll be excited to see what that young man does. Again, you can go to heroesmediagroup.com, go to Cadets on the Gridiron, and you can listen to that episode that I had with Udo. Great young man. And honestly, can you blame him for leaving? He had a good year. He's not really sure. He's exercising right now. He's able to do that. But again, not something that you see with service academy schools, and that's why I like the service academy schools, because those kids are locked in. And again, that's just my personal opinion on that. So whether you're watching this now live or later on, so I got 2 questions for you. What are you looking forward to in 2025? You missed the beginning of the show. My question was, what are you looking forward to most in 2025? And now, next question is, what are your thoughts on the transfer portal? All right, and leave your comments. I'll get to them here in a little bit. We got to move forward with stuff here, though. Catch me down at Podfest here in a couple weeks. Next month, January 16th through the 19th, down at the Renaissance Orlando at SeaWorld. We'll be at Podfest all week. I'll be down there. Come check us out. We'll be specifically at Military Creator Con, which is on January 16th in Podfest. That's day 1 of Podfest. Come check us out. Let me know if you're going to be at Podfest this year. Send me a message. I'd love to link up with you. Grab a drink, coffee, sit down. Let's discuss some things. It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. It's always a good time. Maker's Machine. And I don't have the. Do I have it? I don't have it ready. Son of a gun. Maker's Machine. If you're interested in Maker's Machine, it's a new mastermind group that myself have created along with Shay Sparks, who is a fellow HMG family member. We are doing a mastermind group right now. It's called the Maker's Machine, and we have business owners, podcasters. We're helping you grow your business, helping you start your podcast, make your podcast better, help your business better, etc. There's about 7 of us in the group right now, and we're looking for a few more. So if you're interested in joining a mastermind group to help you grow your business or your podcast, send us a message. Let us know. You can email me personally at media@heroesmediagrp.com. It's on the little screen below there. So go ahead and check that out. New show coming. I think January 15th, I think, is the new episode. The Underwater Advisor with Nick Epler. That's all I can tell you about it right now, but I'm excited about it. I've known Nick for the latter part of a year. This is something that he's been working on. We're excited to have him part of the HMG family. So stay tuned as more of that is to come. Let's get started on, what do we have here? James Clark. Yeah. Yeah, so the transfer portal, this is a good point. So transfer portal, he likes it, needs a cap on how many transfers the individual do. I love it, man. I love it. James, thanks for the comment, brother. I appreciate you, man. And looking forward to catching up with you soon, bro. Thank you. All right, let's get to some of the shows. True Patriot Outfitters, their podcast, Doc Talk Podcast. It was great. They had a little Christmas special on Christmas Eve. Gene had his little Santa hat on. It was fun, fun to watch. You can check them out. True Patriot Outfitters. Go to their social media platforms and listen to Doc Talk Podcast live right here on HMG Tuesday nights. Check them out. True Patriot Outfitters. Follow them along. Great content that they put out, especially for you anglers out there. And if you haven't gotten into kayak fishing, let me tell you something. The kayak fishing has been always kind of a new I'm not a small guy. Most of you have seen me. I'm a fairly wide and big. I've seen some big boys out on these kayaks. Kayak fishing is a lot of fun, and this show really gets into it. It's not just about fishing and kayak fishing, but they put on some great guests that come on, some expert anglers from the field that come on, and me being an avid, say an amateur angler myself, I love to fish. Um, I get a lot of cool tips from this show. I really enjoyed this show, and we're glad to have them on. So making it faster when you got it. Yeah, I loved it. I love it. So True Patriot Outfitters, make sure you check them out. And again, their show are live on social media every Tuesday night. So check them out. Let me see here. I mentioned Cadets on the Gridiron. We got some new shows coming up in 2025. We're going to be going up to West Point filming, and we're going to be doing that one video. So stay tuned. So the next season will be some video stuff. Faith Valor Growth has some new stuff coming out. The Strategic Veteran. Here's a question that they ask. Is AI really the key to smashing veteran unemployment? This week, Justin Henderson, a Marine veteran, shares game-changing military transition strategies and veteran hiring solutions. Learn how Mission Empower and AI technology revolutionize veteran career success and the Army Transition Assistance. This is a really good episode. A lot of information here. And if you're in the active duty, we got a lot of active duty people that listen to this. If you're active duty, check this out because it's a lot of, especially if you're getting ready to transition out. It's called The Strategic Veteran. Check it out. Because Biker Matter podcast will be coming back soon. Homefront Sit Rep podcast. They did a couple of shows this week. The first one, Honor and Remember with George Lutz. You could check that out. And then U.S. Freedom Farms. They take pride in putting their veteran community first in everything that they do. They are a company that focuses on building a better future for our environment, economy, without sacrificing quality. Their commitment to serving our community is at the heart of their mission and will continue to be so as they push forward. Those are the two shows this week, the one with George Lutz and the one with U.S. Freedom Farms. Check them out, Homefront Sit Rep podcast. And you can check them out live every Sunday and Monday night on their social media platforms or live right here on HMG. Next up, we got the JMac podcast. Josh, loving this, man. Spencer's Place provides training, job coaching, and employment for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Their jobs are empowering and provide a community with a heart-changing experience. Heidi's place in Spencer's Place is to coach these individuals. Heidi is the guest, obviously, this week. This week. Her job is to coach individuals in their day-to-day responsibilities and provide nurturing learning environment, which she does exactly. Take a listen to this conversation surrounding early childhood trauma and how you can manage it, and the journey of growing into adulthood and the ultimate pursuit to be a good person who makes a difference in the world. I love this. This is a great episode. JMac Podcast. Check it out. Next up, we got Senior Living Guide from our friends over at seniorlivingguide.com. What is adult daycare? This week, we're joined with Julie Tambari, a seasoned administrator of New Day Adult Care Center, to discuss all the nitty-gritty details of what adult care is, what to expect, cost, and why this might be a great solution for your senior and family. This one's kind of hard to because like kind of pulls on the heartstrings a little bit, but then you start listening, you're like, man, it's good to know that there's help out there if you have family members that are up there in age and senior and that need a lot of help. The adult daycare center They have a ton of resources. This is something to check out, and they might have something in your location. So check it out, seniorlivingguide.com. Shay Sparks got some new stuff coming up in 2025. Next up, we got Patriots Inside the Wire with Gold Star mother Tracy Two Steps. An emotional, heartfelt episode as we honor Gold Star families, Angel families, water families, first responders, and all Patriots. Together, Gold Star father Jim McClung and Gold Star mother Tracy Two Step will be sharing their music straight from the heart and reflecting on the sacrifices of so many. This episode was live last night. If you go to Patriots Inside the Wire Facebook page, you can watch the video now. And they do a couple of shows each week, Monday and Wednesday nights. So check it out. Patriots Inside the Wire. Next up, we got Bump in the Road. This episode is about getting out of your comfort zone and realizing your dreams using the ox cart technique developed by Terry Fossum. The ox cart technique is based on principles of prospect theory developed by Keeman and Tversky in 1979. This states that people are more motivated to avoid pain than to seek pleasure. Terry's method involves creating the failure scenario alongside a success scenario, thereby leveraging both positive and negative emotions to drive action. The ox cart technique, is like carrot in front of the ox, and the ox will move. The theory is the ox will move if it's hungry, so chasing the carrot, right? But if it's not hungry, then what does it do? What happens? Good episode. They explain this all. Pat does an amazing job. Check it out. I love her episodes. Bump in the Road. They're great. Oh, next up, we got the OG of HMG with the Arms Room Show. This week, they're discussing creating a training plan for outdoor or indoor shooting ranges. Believe it or not, there's a difference between the two other than the obvious. As always, these guys put out a ton of great content and really eye-opening. And if you are a shooter or learning how to shoot, this is definitely a show that you should be following. And go check out Independence AZ or independencetrainingaz.com as well and get some training. I'll tell you, one of my goals is to do 2 training classes with Glenn and the crew down there in Arizona in 2025 or up here as they travel. You won't be disappointed. Trust me. Check it out. The Arms Room Show. Everybody should be following them. Next up, we got the Misfit Nation podcast. This week, Rich LaMonica welcomes Deborah Hessler, PhD, applied development psychologist, TEDx speaker, founder and mentor. Founder of the Mentor Project. She has an extensive career that spans reaching on aiding depression, dementia, and fertility, and published work in peer-reviewed journals and features in prominent outlets like the New York Times and Thrive Global. She's received grants from NIA, NIH, and Pfizer, and earned an international recognition for her groundbreaking research. What is it? Tune in to find out. They're going to do a deep dive in aging, psychology, and mentorship. This is a great episode. Misfit Nation podcast. Check it out. Label Free podcast has got some stuff coming out here in 2025. News. Stay tuned for that. We got your 6 at 6 with the People's Patriot Project. They do 3 shows a week. This week they had Doug Macedo. I hope I said that right. On the episode, he shares about Fubar Studio and what he's doing to support veterans and their troubles after coming back from the military. I like the We Got Your 6 at 6. It's a round table. They have a lot of veterans and first responders, and just true patriots on it. Mark Peterson, they've coined this phrase "Patriot Pride," and it's nothing short of just that. It's absolutely amazing. They've done a fantastic job. Go check out the People's Patriot Project. They do a lot of fun stuff. They recently, over the Christmas holiday, they did the Wreaths Across America stuff, and they're live up there in Minnesota, but they travel all over the place, and they've done a phenomenal job. People's Patriot Project, check them out. Next up, we got the other side of the firewall. This week, they do a show Monday through Friday. They do a show every day. This one came out this morning. The host discussed the current state of cybersecurity across various states in the U.S., highlighting fewer than half meet recommended cybersecurity goals. They discussed the implications of its shortfall, particularly regarding the protection of sensitive information in local governments and public utilities. That's a big problem if you're hacking into our grids and shutting stuff down. That's not what I wanted to say. I wanted to say something else. But this is a big problem, and I like this show. It's very eye-opening, especially in the cybersecurity world. It's something I don't know much about, but I learned a lot from this. And if you're interested in cyber or you want to know more about cyber, reach out to these guys. Other side of the firewall. Check it out. Pushing Back Chaos has got some new stuff coming out. Same with MSEC podcast. Rise Up Voices from the Front Lines. Hopefully got some new stuff coming out in 2025. Last, certainly not least, we got our man Ryan Dement from Chasing Happiness podcast. Sits down with Dominica, an expert in neuroscience and brain health. She reveals powerful neuroscience-backed techniques to help you boost your joy, success, and happiness. Starting with your DNA, she discusses the science behind encoding happiness, the impact of small wins, and how we can rewire our brains for a positive, fulfilling life. Awesome episode. Learned a ton from it. Check it out. Chasing Happiness. Got to give a shout out to our 2024 network sponsors, and some of them have already coming back for 2025, and we're looking forward to working with them in 2025. First off, My Tax Fella. They have been a phenomenal an integral tool part of HMG over the last decade, and we are grateful to have them as a partner, as a sponsor. If you're a small business and you need help with your taxes or your bookkeeping, these are the only people that we trust on this. Go to mytaxfella.com, reach out to my man Anthony, let him know that we sent you. Forget Genetics, veteran-owned company right outside of Lebanon, Pennsylvania. Barry and his crew up there, they do fantastic work with these minerals. You want deer in the woods, this is the only product that we use. Go check them out, forgetgenetics.com. Motorcycle Safety Lawyers. If you have a motorcycle, again, these guys should be on your speed dial, and they do so much for veterans and first responders. It's absolutely amazing organization. Thank you, Motorcycle Safety Lawyers. Jim Neary's Live Bait and Tackle, another veteran-owned company, and one of the people I love working with. Jim and Gina down there are family to me. Not just HMG, but to me, they do fantastic stuff. They always hook me up when I want to go fishing down there, and they're always wanting to help and whatnot. So we appreciate their support. Warriors on the Water LTD, another nonprofit organization that's doing great work, veteran run. Check them out, Warriors on the Water LTD. Fin Tactical. They're doing our new website. They've done our new website. They're going to be doing the HMG beverage website coming up here in 2025. Thank you, Fintactical, for your support. I'm looking forward to working with you some more. The Freedom People, if you need a trust, and if you guys are watching, and I know you guys do, thank you for what you do. I got to get back in touch with you because I know you guys have reached out, and we got to get mine wrapped up. Thank you, Freedom People, for everything that you do. Last not least, the last two, JB Auto Clothiers, veteran owned. My man Jimmy Boggs started this company with a vision. I absolutely love being a part of it. Suits, jackets, sports coats, tuxedos, shirts. If you're looking to get fitted for a new tux or a new suit or a new sport coat, give JB Auto Clothiers a call. And last but not least, our sister company, HMG Beverage. You can go to hmgbeverage.com or HMG Coffee and order your coffee, and stay tuned because I think we're going to start the new year off with a coffee sale. So stay tuned for that. I will see you guys next year. Crazy to say, right? Next Friday, I think, is the January 3rd. So in the meantime, I hope everybody had a safe, happy Christmas holiday. And I look forward to being with you all and having you all part of HMG in 2025. Let's make 2025 our best year yet. Let me know how we can help you. So that being said, that's all the time I got today, folks. God bless you. God bless America. We'll see you guys next year. Take care.